My childhood wasn't the best. I mean, I mentioned the bullying I had. I mentioned some of the ableism I went through, and how it really was bad when I was in the 5th through 8th grade. Well, 5th or 6th, 7th, and 8th, 6th and 7th grade in the first year of my special needs school. And it repeated a couple years later in the last 2 years of my special needs school. In the second to last year of my special needs school, I had another couple incidents. But that was because of teachers mostly. Or, the residential people there. But the real story about this video is about how my younger childhood used to be. Well, when I was about 5 through about 12. So ages 5 through 12, I didn't have any friends. Or I didn't have any close friends. It's not to say I didn't have any friends at all. I did. I mean, I talked with kids, I communicated, but never to the point of going to their birthday parties or going to the sleepovers. Heck, I've never been invited to another kid's house for a sleepover or for even a birthday party. Never. No. That never happened. Not because they didn't like me, but mostly because I didn't either live in their neighborhood or I didn't social. In middle school, I was also never invited to anybody's birthday party or sleepover. That was because I didn't really talk to the kids in my class. I just thought everybody was going to pick on me, as they used to in the past in other schools. So I'm like, you know what, better if I stay to myself. And I did talk to a couple kids. At first they seemed to take a liking to me. Then they found me to be annoying as I expected. So I'm like, you know what, forget about it. So they found me to be annoying, so I completely left them alone. And I realized there's two extremes. I'm either too social and talk too much to the point where I annoy people, or I completely avoid social contact. And I was always wondering, why don't I have any friends, And I truly didn't have real friends. I didn't. I mean, that recently began to change in the last couple of years, but in the last couple of years. So for the last 25 years of my life, 24 years of my life, it was basically just me, my family, and the staff of my special needs school that I talked to. Nobody else, and the counselors who worked with me. I've never been to movies with another friend of mine. Yeah. I would either go to movies with my class or by myself. And the last time I went to movies with my class was 18 years ago. That was the last time. The last time I went to movies as a class trip was when I was in first grade. Or in a special needs school. I never made plans with another friend to go see a movie. And the reason I didn't really talk to kids that much, I liked talking, but I was afraid. I didn't want to be left alone. When kids would talk to me, I would talk right back. I would engage them like crazy. And that's why they found me annoying. Because I wanted to talk a lot because I guess basically I just wanted to finally get all that was off my chest, that I couldn't talk much because I didn't have any friends. And because I was so desperate to make friends, it was basically a turn off for the other kids. I guess I was like the crazy person who wanted friends so badly that he didn't have any. I guess I was that guy then. I was that kid then, in a way. I was extremely socially awkward. Either by not talking or being too talkative. And I couldn't really find that middle ground. I mean, as I got older, and when I went to that special needs school, they basically taught me good social skills. I mean, if somebody told me not to talk about a certain subject, even when I was younger, I stopped talking about it. But it was just so difficult making friends. And even though my socialization skills improved when I was by middle school, because I had a para with me, what the para would do, they would basically accompany me wherever I go. This has started about in elementary school. And after second grade, this basically started. This started when I was in fourth grade. I finally had a para with me. Well, final as in for the first time. But they would let me go out for recess. They would let me talk with my friends. So while I didn't go to their birthday parties or They'd engage me back, and I knew how to finally socialize. We would play games together. And heck, I even actually still have one friend that I still talk to from 5th grade. One friend. At least it's one, and not zero. And I still remember his phone number after all those years. And he still hasn't changed it. And so I'm thinking about even finding him on Facebook. So it's like, but anyway, when I went into middle school, everything changed. If indoor recess was, basically indoors, I had to be in the inclusion room where I got always picked on because the parrot had to go on lunch. And I talk about this with the inclusion director, and she didn't care. Like, she was basically like, you have to put up with it. But that was in middle school. But besides that one friend I made at 5th grade, I didn't really make any other friends. Matter of fact, a really bad incident occurred because they were picking on me. Like, I wasn't really aware that they were picking on me. I thought they were just joking around. But then I just said something, and they decided to tell on me, get me in huge trouble. Not because of what I said, but because they didn't really like me. They thought, it'd be funny to get the special kid in trouble. And in fact, I was too smart for my own good. And I basically, when I went to the principal's office, I explained to the principal very methodically, really with precise detail about how it all happened, how the incident happened. And the kids looked really uncomfortable because it was true. And then the principal asked me to leave after I told my story, and they left. And I left. I'm like, but I want to hear. But the principal didn't let me stay for what they were going to say, because the principal had a feeling that since I'm very passionate about being honest and all that, I was going to probably interrupt them and get really upset. So the principal said, okay, Arthur, you can go. I'm like, but I want to stay for what they have to say. Anyway, so I didn't really get in a lot of trouble. I didn't get suspended, but I was told if I don't have a psychological evaluation, I can't come back to the school. So my mom had me have a psychological evaluation that same day. I was immediately cleared to go back to school. But I was so traumatized after I found out that a police report was even filed because of the incident. I was already traumatized by the incident, but I was further traumatized by the fact that a police report was filed because of what I said. And what they were saying was even worse, apparently. Maybe, I was even thinking, maybe it's because of what, I had a feeling it was because of what I said, but maybe it was because of what they said, but no, it was because of what I said. It was because of the insensitivity of what I said. They were saying violent things, I just said an insensitive thing, not violent or gory or anything like that, like what they were saying. But anyway, I got in trouble. I was basically the scapegoat, and I played the role perfectly, like I always did, being the scapegoat. But lately, since I was in middle school, I began to rebel against being the scapegoat, so I basically, rebelled. I was basically one who just could not take being anybody else's scapegoat. And anytime somebody tried to get me in trouble for something I didn't do, I didn't care if I got in trouble for my outburst. I freaking had an outburst over it. Maybe that's why I didn't have any friends. Maybe it was anger over being always falsely accused of something I didn't do. But it paid off, and the kids stopped, trying to conspire against me. But at the same time, I didn't make any new friends, so I guess there's a price to pay for everything. I guess the price to pay for my revolutionary tactics was, more antics was, and I wasn't going to have any friends. I mean, I thought I didn't have any friends because I was such a pushover. And the fact when I started acting all tough and stuff, against the bullies, I didn't make friends either. My parents were like, oh, if you're so nice to people, you'll have friends. I'm like, yeah, right. I didn't believe my parents, but I decided to give it a try. It didn't really work out. So, but I didn't want to be, a nasty person. I didn't want to be a jerk, so I didn't pick on kids. But I just stand up for myself and only myself. And also kids who were being picked on. But I never really saw kids being picked on. But I did see one time a kid being picked on, and I told the other kid to stop it. So I wasn't just standing up for myself because I went through the same thing and I could relate. But before I go, I'm going to the gym right now. I got my backpack on. going to the gym right now. So before I go, just want to let you know that today things are much better for me. I have a couple of close friends that I'm in contact with, and but I'm not making many friends either. So I think I'm probably never gonna get married or have a family. So that's still what I'm thinking. Maybe that mentality is why that's happening, but in the long run, I've tried really hard, to make friends, and in all those years of struggling, I only managed to make 2 close friends or 3 close friends. So it's probably meant that I basically stay socially isolated. Maybe that's what the cosmos are telling me. Well, thank you for everything. Have a great day. Bye.